अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तिन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So welcome today to our new paper number 2, sequentially bound modification. क्रमबद्ध पर्याय. Kram is sequentially, Baddh is bound, Paryay is modification. So I have written in the while naming the lecture, I have written KBP, Krambad Paryay. Okay, but I could also write SBM, but that term is not that popular. So I have written KBP, but you should understand it that it is sequentially bound modification. Very important topic. As a homework, I would say you read the starting pages, few pages, publisher's note, and then Brahmachari Yashpal ji, who is the publications head of PTSD, who was a publication head of PTSD at that point of time. He has also written a note. And then, of course, Dr. Bharil ji, who has written this book, he himself has written his perspective. So for Dr. Bharil ji, this has been a life-changing topic for him. With Krambad Paryay, his knowledge went into further depth, and that is the only reason why he got so much interested in scriptures, So it's a life-changing topic for him, and the whole credit goes to Pujya Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami. He is the one who has highlighted this topic. It was there in the scriptures. It is not that he has created something new. It was there in the scriptures, but nobody highlighted it. Not a single Acharya highlighted this. We have got a very great tradition of 2000 years, beginning with, we can say, Shat Khandagam or Kashai Pahud, whichever is the first Granth that has been written. So far, I was just having this belief that Shat Khandagam is the first Jain scripture. But recently I came to know that Kashai Pahud by Gunbhadra Swami, not the one that by Kunkund Acharya, but before that, Gunbhadra Swami also wrote a Kashai Pahud, and that is supposed to be the first scripture. But while celebrating Srut Panchami, this was made more popular, Shat Khandagam. So we all believe that Shat Khandagam is the first written scripture. But the historians say that Kashai Pahud is before that also. So we don't want to get into that controversy, but the thing is that, so the scriptures were there, this principle was also there, but in nobody's mind it came that it is such a stress reliever topic, So it was not highlighted, but Pujya Kanji Swami, because of his past impressions, he got interested into this particular word, Kram Niyamit Paryay. So in Samaysar, it is written Kram Niyamit Paryay. Verse number 308 to 311, this word is there. And then we have other references around 15-20 scriptures and poems of great scholars. After that, we have the references of this Krambad Paryay system. So it's there in the scriptures, as we will see while discussing the definition and other things. So this Krambad Paryay principle is something new that Swamiji has discussed. It was already there in the scriptures, Only thing is that it was not being highlighted, and with the advent of Swamiji, this has been highlighted in such a manner that now every mumukshu, every seeker knows this principle very clearly. And it's indeed a uh, stress reliever, you can say, because when you understand the nature of things, vastu vyavastha, the reality of things, okay, that is the universal truth, eternal truth, and depicting that eternal truth, these doctrines takes us into further towards uh, non-doership, you know. So this is a very nice topic for every seeker, you know, to make you stress-free, to overcome worries, you know. My mom was uh, 88 when she died 2 years ago. And I also taught him this principle. And every now and then, because of his old age, he would worry that what will happen, this, that. Then every time I used to tell him, Krambad, Krambad. Then you will immediately, you know, feel relaxed. I said, Krambad, Krambad. So this is a doctrine where all your worries, uncertainties, doubts, everything will be cleared up. So practically we can see it has got wide application, and Dr. Bharilji has also done a very good justice to this topic, explaining in detail, putting on his own logics and his own study, his experience, and this has come out in a very nice manner. We are so fortunate to have this doctrine in front of us. Otherwise, it was there in the scriptures. Nobody dared to highlight it, or nobody realized that this is the potential that this small word, kram niyamit paryay, carries, you know. So it's all in the, we can say, no, mind, how you take things. So we are very fortunate to have this article in our syllabus also. And hope everyone's life changes with this. Already your life has changed, but it will take up a new dimension, you know. You will be more, uh, you will become more sharp in practicing discriminative knowledge after understanding this principle. Okay. So enough of introduction. As a homework, you have to read the Dr. Bharilji's perspective and the publisher's note that are also very interesting and inspiring. Interesting, but at the same time, very inspiring. So it will definitely inspire you to read this again and again. And this is one principle, if you understand it nicely, then I think you have understood the whole Jinagam, Dvat Sanka Sar. So in the Jinagam, Jain scriptures, there is Dvat Sang, Bara Ang, 12 Angas, you know. So this one principle can give you the essence of the whole Jaina scriptures. Okay. So from that perspective also, this is very, very important topic. So hope you are all charged up to understand this.
So
And
just one question. So,
yeah,
Shastro mein, does this have another name? Yeah,
this is the name, Kram Niyamit Paryay. At one place it is
yahi Shastro.
Kram Niyamit Paryay. And Kram Niyat Paryay means Krambad Paryay. Now Swamiji introduced this word Krambad. Why? Because of his past impression, he was a Sthanakwasi sadhu, you know, earlier in his life. And then he converted to Digambar. So before the conversion, and while he was at the Sthanakwasi place, he had this intuition of Krambad word, you know. So because of that, he popularized that word. But having said that, Kram Niyamit and Krambad are synonymous. So when we come to English, there is no dispute about that. Sequentially bound modification also means Krambad Paryay, and sequentially bound modification also means Kram Niyamit Paryay. So there is no ambiguity about that. Okay, so we will begin the scriptures. Before we begin to read the scripture, I would highlight one more point, which we have studied in Bal Bodh, Dravya Gun Paryay, Substance, Attributes and Modification chapter. It was in Bal Bodh 3. Okay. So you can revisit that topic. I think I taught for 2 hours that topic, It went more than 2 hours, I suppose. But it's such an interesting topic. It's because this Krambat Parya is an evolution of that. In fact, every Jain principles that we have read so far is an evolution from that structure of substance, attributes, and modification. So there is nothing harm in revisiting again and again. Of course, we will be touching here also in a different manner. But having said that, getting to the base of the topic is always important. And it's a mother of many other doctrines also. So that Dravya Gun Paryay, so when I went to teach these Sadhvijis, the first thing that I taught them was Dravya Gun Paryay. Because from there only the other principles come out. Okay. So we should be very clear about the nature of the substance, about the nature of the attributes, their functions, and of course the nature of modification. Okay. So the clarity on this will help you to understand this principle better. So I assume that you will again revisit that topic. Otherwise, you can still study from the scripture already Balbodh and understand it a bit. So, what is the essence of understanding the substance, attributes, and modification? The essence or the conclusion is that one substance does not do anything of the other substance. That means one substance is independent of another substance. Body cannot do anything of the soul, and soul cannot do anything of the body. So that's why Tirthankars and other great personalities got afflictions, and some one Chakravarti got leprosy in his body, but he could not do anything about the body. But his soul's journey was intact. There is no disturbance. Only the body caught the disease and the disease went away on its own time. But for the monk, it doesn't make any difference because monk's journey is his soul's journey and not the body's journey. Okay. So one substance is independent of another substance. That is the first essence of understanding substance, attributes, and modification. The second is one attribute is independent of another attribute. Okay. So there is a knowledge attribute, there is a conduct attribute, there is a belief attribute. The belief says that cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Cigarette smoking causes cancer. All these are written over there in the packet. Government has been very strict. Now they want that 85% of the packet should depict the pictures of a cancer affected person. That if you consume this, you are going to get cancer like this. And still people are smoking. Why? Because belief attribute and conduct attribute are two different attributes. A doctor who is a cancer specialist is performing operations day in and day out. Very, very specialist. But once he performs an operation, he comes out and lights a cigarette. Why? Because he is operating everyday patients affecting through cigarettes and all. Why? Same answer, that belief attribute is different and conduct attribute is different. Okay. So one attribute does not do anything in the other attribute. One attribute does not influence the other attribute. One attribute is independent of another attribute. The third in the line is modification. So similarly, one modification cannot do of another modification. One modification is independent of another modification. In the 99th modification, it was wrong belief. and in the 100th modification, it was right belief. Just one moment ago, it was a wrong belief. The next moment is a right belief. So this goes on to prove that each modification is independent. It has got no bearing of the past modification. Okay. So there is an independence between two substance, two attributes, and two modification. This is the conclusion that we arrive at after understanding the nature of substance, attributes, and modifications. Okay. So based on this, these principles allow. These principles emerge, this principle of sequentially bound modification, SBM. I would say SBM or KBP. Which one would you like to prefer? Because I'm not going to utter the long word sequentially bound modification every now and then. Okay. So what would you prefer, SBM or KBP? Which one we should popularize?
KBP.
KBM.
Okay, I don't mind. KBP. Okay. So, this principle evolves after understanding substance, attributes, and modification. And this structure, internal structure of any substance is substance, attributes, and modification. So understanding the nature of each is what constitutes inner engineering. This is called inner engineering. This is a very popular term, inner engineering. And I have adopted this term from them. I have never gone into the details what they teach in terms of inner engineering. But I know for certain that the nature of substance, attributes, and modification is inner engineering for Jainism. Okay. So if you are a skilled person, if you are a craftsman, you understand this clearly, then you are an engineer. Okay. You are an engineer in Jainism, and you are going to enjoy this life like anything and ultimately get liberated. Okay. So all these principles leads us to the liberation only. We have only one objective in mind, to get liberated. So all our principles complement in getting into that one way or the other. So whenever you want to know a substance, what things you will apply? So if I want to know a substance very clearly, I have to apply three things. Okay. First is I have to understand that substance from the point of view of substance, attributes, and modification. Okay. The substance is indivisible, but to understand it better, I have to divide it into substance, attributes, and modification. All three are having different names, not only names, they are in quantity also different, and in terms of purpose also they have different functions to perform. Okay. So this is one principle. Another principle would be to learn about Utpad, Vyay, Dravya. So Utpad is evolution, Vyay is extinction, and Dravya is permanence, constant. Okay. This is the second thing that we apply to know any substance. And what is the third thing? Soumya, what is the third thing? The third,
सद्द्रव्य लक्षणम.
Sat Dravya Lakshanam.
Order.
No, that has been included in this Dravya Gun Paryaya and Utpad Vyay Dravya. So the third principle would be Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav. So to understand, to know about any substance, you have to go into depth of its Dravya, substance, Kshetra, space, Kal, time, and Bhav. Bhav will be modification. Okay, not modification, but quality. Okay. So when you understand any substance from these three perspectives, you have the complete knowledge of that substance. Okay. And then you can decide whether it is worth adapting. If it is worth adapting, then whether it should be taken shelter of or it should be just worth manifesting. Okay. And then if it is worth renouncing, then you should renounce it. But to know the substance, to come to this conclusion, you have to understand it from three perspectives. Okay. This has been written, this has been written by Brahmachari Kalpana Ben in his guidebook Balbodh Vivechika, and I think Vitrag Vigyan also. No, but it is in Balbodh Vivechika because this chapter is there in particularly here. So many of the things I have learned from her. She has been to Mumbai in our Borivali Mandirji for twice, 2 months each, and we had a very good study. She is still there in Manglayatan, and if you happen to go to there, you should interact with her. Very knowledgeable person. So you just can make out from the Vivechikas that he has made, the Balbodh Vivechika, then Vitrag Vigyan Vivechika, the guidebook to our textbooks, and of course Tattvagyan Vivechika 1 and Tattvagyan Vivechika 2. So now with this background, we are going to start this sequential bound modification or KBP. Okay. It's a contemplative study. It's a kind of essay format. But since this was so popular and many people have read this, so Pandit Abhay Kumarji made a guidebook on this. And it is in the name of Krambad Paryay Nirdeshika. Okay. It is available only in Hindi. The English translation is not there. Yesterday, I was having a meeting with the translation team, and we have still 12 scriptures to translate. So unless and until we first complete the Parmagam Honors syllabus, we cannot move to other scriptures. So this will be a reference book for you. It is there in the Google Drive, course material. You can see there, it's in Hindi version. Those who want to go deep into this, you can go and refer that book. But from my end, I'll be teaching you enough from this scripture only so that you are able to understand the topic very nicely. There will be no ambiguity, no doubts. That is for sure. The next thing that I wanted to discuss was, before we start the topic, so based on this Nirdeshika by Pandit Abhay Kumar ji, what he has done, this is in an essay form, 69 pages, pure essay. You never know where the first point has ended and the another point has been taken into discussion. So what he did, he made 31 modules out of it. Okay, and each module represents a particular perspective. Okay, so we will also be reading this book according to modules. I will tell you the modules and you have to mark it in your textbook. Okay. Hope everyone has got the couriers. Mostly all have responded.
Yes, sir.
If anyone is left over, just let me know. I can just follow it up, Okay. So I presume that everyone has received it. If not, then you can contact me later on also. But hopefully it has reached everyone. So you have to mark it in your textbook where the first module starts and where it ends. What is the heading of this module? Okay. All these will be a part of your homework. Homework means in the class only I will tell, but you have to keep the pen ready to mark it out. Okay. So in this manner, if we study, then we will be able to understand where the discussion is going on. Okay. So it is done so, it is so organized and so nicely done. So we also give credit to Pandit Abhay Kumarji for making this thing very easy. And apart from that, he has also written questions on each module. What questions you should have in mind. and those answers are there in particular module. Okay, so that is also a very good practice. And apart from that, he has made things simple. He has put in his own commentaries, charts, differences, and he has also done a different section on question answers. Okay, and the first question in that question answer section, that is page number 86 of Krambad Paryay Nirdeshika. What is Krambad Paryay? What is KBP? Whether it is substance, attributes, or modification. What it is? That is the first question he has asked. And I would also like the class to answer that. Open to all. Whoever raises a hand. If you keep your videos on, all of you, then I will be able to see your attention and your reactions, and it will help me further to go deep into the topic. Okay, so when you have put on the video, you are more serious. If a phone is coming, you are not going to attend. But if you are just listening on the audio, then your mind get distracted, and this is such a principle that you have to be very attentive to grasp the 100% of it. Recently, as I said, I have got another assignment with Sadhu Maharaj, Deravasi Sadhu Maharaj. There are 7 in all, and they are now in Mulund. I stay in Borivali, and Mulund is 2 hours from my place. I'm already teaching 3 Sadhvijis who are there in Borivali. And one thing I noticed about them is they don't have access to mobile phones. Right? And the second thing is I am live with them. So the grasping is so fine that they understand the topic immediately. And the kind of questions they asked, I can also make out that they have gone in depth into this topic. So this another assignment has come up, and I'm going to go thrice a week to Mulund from Borivali. I've taken out a first class pass, and it was a 2-hour journey from Borivali. When I start from my home to the place that I reach there, it's 2 hours, complete 2 hours. And then we will have discussion from 2 to 4 o'clock. So we had an introductory session day before yesterday, and from Monday onwards, I am going to start that. So thing is that what inspired me to go there, my experience with this Sadhviji. So they don't have any access to mobile phone. So their mind is very calm, and they are able to grasp the essence. So in that context only, I asked you to keep your videos on. The more attentive you are, the more is the chances that you understand it better. And more you understand it better, it will be easy for you to arrive at a conclusion. Okay. So Soumya has shared this Karmat Paryay Nirdeshika, how it is like Garbit Ashyay, and then answer, lot of things into those modules, So this is also an interesting read, but it is in Hindi. So those who know Hindi can have access to this. But otherwise, I'm going to do the needful in class. So you don't worry. I have marked out everything, what is to be highlighted where. So nothing to worry about. Okay. But those who want to go very deep, who want to do a PhD on this book is definitely going to help you. Okay. So with that note, I think I'm done with the introduction, background, whatever I wanted to say about this. So now we are going to start the scripture from page number 1. Okay. Sequentially bound modification, a contemplative study. Yeah. From here only. And so this is a second page, I think. No. We have to go, further up. Yeah. Drop. Next page. Yes. One page is missing. अरे भगवान. So the first page is missing, you know. Why did that happen? I don't know. Uh, okay. So what I will do is I'll take out a photograph of the first page and we will study with that page, and then of course we will move on to the this scripture. Okay. So I'm just sharing in the group. You can download it from the group itself. But definitely I'll get it corrected, and you have to just take a printout of that page and paste it here. Not paste it, just put a pin over there. Adobe is always better than the camera photograph, you know. You don't have to centralized also. And it's a very clear copy. So I have shared in the group. You can download it. And Soumya, if you can share it, nothing like it. Only 3 paragraphs are there that, yeah. So here it is. Come below, come below. This is the upper side. Yes. Yes. So we have to start from here. Sequentially bound modification. Okay. A contemplative study. So this one part is missing. Okay. How it has got missed, I don't know. But it has been missed. So you have to take a printout of this page and put it before that. Okay. So we'll begin with from here only. Sequentially bound modification is today a widely discussed topic. Okay. Within the Digambara Jain community. Okay. So when I taught this to Sadhvi ji, you know, in 3 days, they completed the whole study. The Nirdesika also and the textbook also. This one textbook also and Nirdesika. So because they don't have to cook food or nothing. Whole day they are studying. And there are 3 of them. Then they have discussions among them. So it took them 3 days to understand this whole principle. And the questions that were asked was about the efforts, Purusharth. So there was some ambiguity about Purusharth, which is a very hot topic in Krambad Paryay. Then if everything is Krambad, then what is the Purusharth that I have to do? Okay. So that is a very important question in this topic. And they also had the same question. And there was a very healthy discussion on that. And they were able to realize and accept the point of view that I was trying to explain to them. So we'll be also discussing about efforts. But beforehand only I'm just alerting you that this would be a question in everybody's mind. Okay. So we'll begin the discussion from here. Pratibha ji, we'll begin with you. The first module starts from here. Sequentially bound modification is today a widely discussed topic. From there, it ends within 2 paragraphs. I have just written 1. So you have to also mark it as 1. Okay. So this is the first module. Then the second module starts. Okay. So as and when it comes, I will be informing you. So don't worry. Just read the first module. Pratibha ji.
Sequentially bound modification is today a widely discussed topic with the Digambar Jain community. Whether one is in favor or opposed, it is being talked about everywhere among those who are drawn to philosophical inquiry. Although the spiritual luminary Sri Kanji Swami presented this subject with great seriousness and thereby heralded a revolution in world of spirituality, making it a prominent subject of discussion in the community. Even so, few are seen truly delving into its depth, the kind of deep churning that ought to be undertaken on this unique philosophical investigation within Jain thought is hardly evident. The great philosophical insight has unfortunately been turned into a matter of idle debate and social politics. In reality, it is a purely philosophical subject. It should not be made the object of controversy or humor, but rather approached with a purely philosophical and spiritual perspective. Since it is a subject rooted in Jain philosophy, it must be contemplated with sound reasoning and clear examples grounded in the perspective of the Jain scripture.
Yes. So this is the first
Sir,
mod.
excuse me, sir. It is starting as a second paragraph. It's in the book itself, sir.
Pardon?
It starts as a second paragraph. Whatever Pratibha has read, it's there in the book.
Acha.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's there. So
It
after
starts.
the grand,
It starts as a second paragraph.
yeah, the second paragraph is that only sequentially bound modifications today a widely discussed topic.
Yeah, it starts right there.
1 minute. Let me see. Where it is? Just as the grandmother. Acha.
Yeah, the second paragraph there.
Okay. Okay, it is already there, but okay. So this first paragraph you should remove. That's all. I think the next page is this will come. Just check the Soumya. Next page it is there, just as the grand mention. Further. No, I think there is some problem with this. So now you at least cut the first paragraph and then we are good now. Okay. So, ठीक है, no problem. So first paragraph you have to skip now, but how it unfold in the next module that we will see. I have not kept a copy with me because I took out an earlier copy, and in that everything was okay because I was just comparing it with the Hindi edition. That's how I checked, not a single word I can miss because I am comparing it with the Hindi version. So mine is okay, but then I didn't take out a copy because unnecessary increasing stationery is no means because I've already got it here. So while correction, I do physical corrections only. And then I tell them that there the correction has to be done. So this first paragraph has to be omitted. That's all. Okay. So sequentially bound modification is today widely discussed. That is okay. Swamiji presented the subject with great seriousness, and that's how it becomes so popular. The thing that Dr. Bharilji tried to highlight, that the kind of deep churning that ought to be undertaken on this unique philosophical investigation within Jain thought is hardly evident. Okay, so people use this doctrine of Kambat Paryay for giving excuses. Why you have done this way? Then you will say Kambat Paryay. So it is not the way that you should use it. Okay. So in your Vyavhar, you should say what is to be said. This is for you to understand. Okay. This is, we need to take it at a belief level and not for giving excuses, why this went wrong. It was supposed to go to wrong. No, this should not be the answer. Okay. So, so this is what Dr. Bharilji also tried to highlighted, that a deep churning, a deep understanding. You have to go deep into this topic to get the essence of it. The second paragraph says that this great philosophical insight or doctrine has unfortunately been turned into a matter of idle debate and social politics. Number one, ideal debate and social politics. Then, in reality, the second point is this one. It is purely a philosophical subject. It should not be made the object of controversy or humor. Okay? It is not an object of controversy or humor, but rather approached with a pure philosophical and spiritual perspective. This is the second point. The third point is, since it is a subject rooted in Jain philosophy, it must be contemplated with sound reasoning and clear examples grounded in the perspective of the Jain scriptures. Okay, so these 3 points makes this study a very interesting one, and we should be very careful that we don't commit any of these 3 mistakes. Okay, so then only we will be able to take the essence of it, and then it will reflect in our life. Our life will become stress-free, tension-free, nothing, only bliss, bliss, bliss. Okay, so this is one. Now the second paragraph, the second module starts from here, the meaning of sequentially bound modification. Okay, just as. Okay, so here the paragraph is missing. The first paragraph that I have cut down is where what comes here. After the second module starts from here, the meaning of sequentially bound modification. Okay, so second paragraph starts from here. Second module, sorry, second module. Yeah, this one. You can also mark it if you want. Otherwise, you mark it in your textbook. Okay, so this is the second module beginning. The meaning of. Okay, so this is the second module beginning, and then one paragraph that we have cut in the top should come after this, after the first paragraph. And then we are good with just as the arrangement. Okay, just as the arrangement, then it is good. Okay, so this much changes you have to do it. So you don't have to bring anything, just put an arrow over there and bring it here. So everything is fine. Okay, so the meaning of sequentially bound modification, this is the second module. So in this particular module, it begins from here and goes on to the next page. And in this, they have highlighted 4 words. I'm saying the Hindi words also and simultaneously English words also. These 4 words define the Krambadh Paryay. Okay, sequential bound modification. What are these 4 words? Kramasha. First word is Kramasha. Kramasha means sequentially. You write it down. Sequentially. This is the whole 4 words have been explained in the second module that we will see. But first I would like you to write down the words. Hindi it is Kramasha. English it is sequentially. The second word in Hindi is Niyamit. In English, it will be prefixed, predetermined. 2 words we are using it, prefixed and predetermined. Niyamit. The third word is Vyavasthit. Vyavasthit means systematic, organized. And the fourth word is Swadhin, that is independent. Okay. So these 4 words, these 4 words define the principle of KBP. Okay, KBP. Fine. Now, I'm again coming back to that question. Whether Krambadh Paryay is a substance or an attribute or a modification. What it is? What is your perspective to it?
Sir, it is all 3, sir.
Pardon?
Paryay.
It is all 3, sir.
All 3. Okay. All 3. Paryay. What else?
Sir, it applies to Paryay only, na?
Okay. Good. Any other opinion?
Well, paryay means modification, right?
Yes,
So it's going to
paryay
be
means modification. Yeah. So it is not a substance, it is not an attribute, it is not a modification, but it's a system. Okay. What system? System of substance and attributes modification. Substance and attributes modifies in a certain manner, which is called modification. So this is a system where dravya or guno ki parinaman vyavastha. Dravya is substance, gun is attribute. Okay. So this is a system which defines the modification of substance and attributes. Okay. So this is a system. This is not a particular modification, but this is a system. System of what? System of the transformation of substance and attributes. Transformation of substance and attribute is the principle of Krambad Paryay, sequential bound modification. So it is not a particular modification, although it is mentioned as Paryay, but it doesn't mean a particular modification, but it means a systematic arrangement of substance and attributes transformation. Okay. So I hope now you have got the meaning. So these 4 words define that system. Okay. So Kramasha, these 4 words are a component of that system. Okay. Sequentially, prefixed or predetermined, systematic or organized, and independent. Okay. So this principle will have these 4 components in it. Now we will read the second module and understand these 4 words better. I will also be giving you examples after we read this. Okay. So Maltiji, you read. Second module. It starts from here.
The meaning of.
Yes.
The meaning of sequentially bound modification is that the transformation order of this ever-changing world is sequentially governed. Kram niyamit. All transformation that takes place continuously in the world is happening in a fixed and systematically ordered sequence. While at the surface level, this transformation may appear disorderly, upon deeper reflection, even that reveals an underlying and well-structured order. Just as in a theatrical performance, the scenes that appear well-arranged are indeed predetermined and carefully organized, even the scenes that appear chaotic are in fact also planned, pre-planned, and completely structured. Just as the arrangement that appears disordered...
No. You have to read that first paragraph.
Just as the grand mansion of a wealthy man, which appears completely orderly, is in fact pre-planned and well-structured, so too is the humble hut of a poor man. Though it may seem disorganized, it is not actually unplanned or chaotic. It too is entirely planned and arranged. In order to display a broken cot or tattered clothes, a whole cot must first be broken and intact garments must be torn. To convey that a plate lies here and a water pot there, the plate and the pot are deliberately placed in their respective positions. Just as the arrangement that appears disordered is in fact predetermined and well-structured, so too, the seemingly chaotic transformation of all substances is actually entirely fixed and orderly. Just as scenes in a play unfold one after another, not all at once, in the same way, modifications within every substance occur sequentially, not simultaneously. In a drama, it is also fixed which scene will follow which. Similarly, among modifications, it is fixed which modification will come after which. Just as only the scene that is destined to follow appears next and no other, in the same way, only what specific modification which is meant to occur takes place, no other. This is what is called sequentially bound modification. The transformation order of every substance is not only orderly, but also independent. It is not dependent on any other substance. There is absolutely no interference from one substance in the transformation of another.
Stop. Stop. So here ends the second module. And you have, hope you have been able to understand these 4 words, So very good example given of a drama, in drama, if they want to depict a mention of a wealthy person, okay, then it is it appears completely orderly. It is in fact pre-planned and well structured. So too is the humble hut of a poor person. Okay. So if they want to depict the humble hut of a poor man, though it may seem disorganized, it is not actually unplanned or chaotic. Okay. It too is entirely planned and arranged. In order to display a broken coat or tattered clothes, a whole coat must first be broken and intact garments must be torn. To convey that a plate lies here and a water pot there, the plate and pot are deliberately placed in their respective positions. You got this paragraph, the first paragraph, which we shifted from there to there. So in this paragraph, they have given an example of a drama scene, So now my question is that to depict the hut of a poor man, the wholesome coat was broken down and the intact garments were torn. Okay. Why? To show that it belongs to a poor person, right? And when they were explaining the wealthy man, then everything was in order, perfect, nicely interior done and everything, as a wealthy person should look. Okay. So my question is, though in drama, it may seem disorganized. Is it so?
No, it is pre-planned.
Okay. So my next question is, why it seems disorganized?
So because we don't know what's gonna come next.
Because of ignorance. The answer is because of ignorance, it seems to be disorganized. But when you see from the perspective of a drama and the kind of things that the director or the producer wants to depict, from that perspective, it is absolutely organized. Okay. So it may seem to be disorganized, but it is not so. And why it seems to you disorganized? Because of your ignorance about the drama, So it is not disorganized, but as Maltiji said, it is pre-planned. Just as the arrangement that appears disordered is in fact predetermined and well structured, so too the seemingly chaotic transformation of all substances, this is the principle, is actually entirely fixed and orderly. Okay. So here, this is the first time that the author has tried to explain the principle. Okay. By giving this example. Now, the 4 words that we used, okay, these are going to come in this paragraph. In the same example, just as scenes in a play unfold one another. So one another means sequentially. Not all together, not all at once. One after another. Not all at once. In the same way, modification within every substance, okay? Every substance will have one modification every moment, okay? That modification keeps on changing. So within, in the same way, modification within every substance occur sequentially, not simultaneously, right? One after another, one after another. So this explains the first principle, that is sequentially. Okay. The whole definition of KBP consists of 4 terminology, and this is the first, that it should be sequentially, okay, and not simultaneously. Then the next one, in a drama, it is also predetermined which scene will follow which. Similarly, among modification, it is fixed which modification will come after which. So this second point defines the word predetermined, prefixed. Okay, got it? Now the third, you can mark it in your textbook. The third one is being explained. Just as only the scene that is destined to follow appears next, and no other. In the same way, only that specific modification which is meant to occur takes place, no other. This is what is called sequentially bound modification. Okay. Now I'm going to explain you another example, these two words. The second one, that is predetermined or prefixed, and the third one, systematic and organized. Okay, systematic and organized. So these two, and the first word which was sequentially. So the example given, that in an award ceremony, now we have this Grammy Awards, Oscar Awards, and then we have our Indian Filmfare Awards, and all these awards, and all the celebrities are invited to those events. In that event, if you see, there is a fixed sequence that they follow. Who is going to be awarded first, and then what? First it would be supporting actor, and then music director, and then producer, and what not, and then last comes the hero and heroine, like that. So this is called predetermined. Okay. And what is vyavasthit? The third word, which was systematic and organized. That means it follows a particular trend, like the like, as I said, the supporting actor will come first, award for supporting actor, then villain, then this, and then the last, the main actor and actress. Okay, so that is called vyavasthit. Okay, another example that I can give you, because these two words, the predetermined and the systematic or organized appears to be same, but in Hindi there is a quite apparent difference. In Hindi it is called niyamit and vyavasthit. Now what is vyavasthit? Vyavasthit means it follows a particular sequence of dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav. It is always in an organized manner. Okay. Example, if a plant has to grow, okay, it will follow a proper sequence. Soumya, if you can share that example that I shared today morning, it's coming on your screen. You can see the development of a plant. So first of all, it is the seed that we saw on the ground, and then from seed, are you getting it, Ankur? Otherwise I will share. Yeah, this is the one. So first the seed has to be planted in the ground, and then something will come out of it. Ankur, we call it is Ankur. Ankur is what? Teeler or what? So this is young plant, and then it keeps on growing. It becomes a mature plant. The branches come out, the leaves come out, and then the flower comes out. And out of that flower, the fruit comes out. So there is a proper combination, organization of this, right? So similarly, in this KBP, there is a proper arrangement. Okay, organization. Okay, so this is what it means to be systematic or organized. It cannot happen that fruit will come first and then the plant will mature, then the leaves will come out. No, it doesn't happen. It has to be in this sequence only and no other sequence. Okay, so similarly, the substance and the attributes are transforming in a particular sequence. Each and every substance, each and every attribute is transforming in a particular sequence, predetermined sequence, and systematic sequence. Okay, hope you have understood these three characteristics of this principle. Now coming of the fourth is independent. Yeah.
सर प्लीज क्लैरिफाई वंस अगेन, प्रीडिटरमिन्ड एंड सिस्टमैटिक, नियमित और व्यवस्थित में क्या अंतर है?
हाँ, तो नियमित में कि पहले ये आएगा, फिर ये आएगा, फिर ये आएगा, एज एन अवार्ड, we have got a sequence that first it has to be taken in our event also, biannual event, first it starts from the earlier batches, 20, supposing the oldest batch, first batch, and then the second batch, third batch, and then we are 24, and after ours there is another batch 25, 2025. So the results comes in a sequence, so that is called niyamit. इसके बाद ये आएगा. And the Vyavasthit wants to depict that it is in a particular Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, Sumel, harmony. There is a harmony among all the predetermined sequence that is coming up. Okay, this is how is explained by this example of seed, young plant, mature plant, flower, and then fruit. Okay, so this is the difference. This difference will be more evident when you read the word niyamit and vyavasthit. In English, there is bit like more or less it means the same, but in Hindi, the word has got a different meaning. Okay, since originally this book has been written in Hindi, so we have to understand it from that perspective only. But nevertheless, with the example, it is more clear. Okay, so there is a harmonious among all these steps, and that is called vyavasthit. Okay, vyavasthit means systematic, organized. It will never happen that the fruits will come first and then the leaves will come and then the seed will be planted. No, it will have to be in this sequence. Similarly, each substance and attributes follows a certain sequence, orderly sequence, predetermined sequence, and that is very organized. It is always organized. It is always systematic. Okay, there is no way that any chaos will happen. So this is by itself it's imbibed in the principle. Now the fourth word that was independent, that is coming up in the next paragraph. The transformation order of every substance is not only orderly but also independent. Why it is independent? Can anyone give me a good reason? You know it. That's why I'm asking. Why it is independent? Or I will make it more simple. Why each modification is independent? Substance is independent, attributes is independent, but why the modification is independent?
Sequentially bonded.
Pardon?
Sequence, because the sequence is like that.
No. Sequence is
Sir,
that
each modification is dependent on its dravya and gun or whatever it is. So it is independent of other modifications completely.
Okay, well tried. Anyone else? Or I will give
Because
the
one
answer.
attribute cannot affect another attribute.
Okay.
They cannot.
But this is, we are talking about the modification. And why this whole system is independent? Because each modification has inbuilt its 6 cases. Karta, Karam, Karan, Sampradhan, Apadan, Adhikaran. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Each modification is independent. It does not depend on the substance or the attributes, nor on the nimit. Okay. The instrumental cause. Each modification is very capable because there is an inbuilt 6 cases in it which takes care of its functioning. Okay, so it is not dependent on the substance or the attributes. Each modification is independent in itself. Okay, it is not dependent on any other substance. Okay, there is absolutely no interference from one substance in the transformation of another. So this is the one logic about the 6 cases that we see. Okay, the other logic given is not given, but I have myself thought about it, is the eligibility of the moment. Okay, because of the eligibility of the moment, each modification is independent. Okay, so the substance is independent, the attributes is independent, and the modification is independent. That's why the system that governs this substance attributes and modification called Krambat Paryay is also independent. Okay, so the system is independent, the modification is also independent, the substance is independent, and the attribute is also independent, and so the whole system governing these three is also independent. So now we have the clear definition of Krambat Paryay, and that is that it is a system of orderly transformation of substance and attributes. Okay, and it has got these 4 characteristics. It is sequentially, it is predetermined, it is organized and systematic, and it is independent. Okay, so the whole principle comes with this definition. The whole principle you can understand very nicely. Okay, now the author will give us different definitions, okay, with reference to different scriptures. So we are going to discuss 7 such definitions from different scriptures. Some of them has been written by acharyas, some of them has been written by the scholars, the householder scholars. Okay, so 7 references will be it will be referred here, and we begin with the 3rd module with Acharya Amrit Chandra's reference of Sem4. Okay, and from there only this principle has evolved. Okay, so the first reference coming up, 3rd module starts from here as Acharya Amrit Chandra. So this is the first reference. Then in the next page, I will just first do the marking. Okay, you also mark it out. We are going to see the 7 definition as stated in the Kartikeya Preksha. Next page. Got it? As stated in the Kartikeya Preksha. Jam Jassa. This is 2nd reference. Then the 3rd reference further down. The same spirit has been expressed. Got it? Then the 4th. Jo jo dekhi vitaragne. Okay. Then the 5th. Ja kari jaisam jahi. Then the 6th. Such is the contemplation of one with right belief. Then the next paragraph, 7th. Furthermore, the conviction of one with right belief is this. So these are the 7 references, and then after 2 paragraphs, we end the module number 3. Powerful basis. Okay, powerful basis is the end of module number 3. Everyone got it? Okay, so now we will read one reference at a time and I will explain you, and you have to write it in your textbook from which book it is there, okay, and which verse number, whatever it is there. As I say, you can write it there in the. So the first reference is coming up is from Sem4 ji, verse number 308 to 311, and in that the words are from Kunkundacharya Dev, but in the commentary. Okay, so now here it is just the Kunkundacharya Dev's verse number 308 to 311, and on that the commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. Okay, so this is the reference from there. We will read one reference at a time. So Himali, you read this reference.
As Acharya Amrit Chandraji writes in his commentary titled Atma Khyati on verses 308 to 311 of the illustrious Digambar Acharya Kunkunda's renowned scripture Sem4, Jivo hi.
You can skip that.
Okay.
English is there.
Okay. First, the Jeev undergoes its own sequentially governed, which is sequentially bound modification. is indeed Jeev and not Ajeev. Similarly, the Ajeev undergoing its own sequentially governed modification is Ajeev and not Jeev. Here, the transformation of all Jeev and Ajeev is described as sequentially governed, that is, sequentially bound. What else exists in the universe apart from Jeev and Ajeev? The aggregate of Jeev and Ajeev substances is what is called the world or the universe. In this way, the transformation of the entire universe is called sequentially governed, that is, sequentially bound. The word sequentially governed and sequentially bound are synonymous, as clearly stated in Jaina Tattva Mimamsa. Every effect occurs only in its proper time. Therefore, the modifications of every substance are sequentially governed. One after another, they continue to arise at their respective proper times in accordance with their real principal cause, which is Nishchay Upadan. Here, the word kram has been used to indicate the sequential manifestation of modifications, and the word niyamit has been used to indicate that each modification arises in its own proper time, regulated in accordance with its own real principal cause. In this present time, the meaning conveyed by the term sequentially bound modification is the same as that of sequentially governed modification. It is important to note that it is not merely stated here that modifications occur in sequence, but also that they occur in a regulated sequence. The intent is this: the specific modification of a particular substance, which is to arise in a particular time through a particular instrumental cause and by a specific mode of effort, arises exactly in that substance at that time through that instrumental cause and by that very mode of effort, exactly as it is meant to, not otherwise. This is the rule. So shall I continue?
No, this is the end of the first reference. Okay.
Yes.
And from this reference, you can make out that this reference proves us that every modification in this universe, the whole universe consists of 6 kinds of substances, Jeev, Pudgal, Dharma, Adharma, Akash, Kal. Soul, non-soul, okay? No, so soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, time and space, okay? So this universe consists of these 6 substances with its different number of quantities, okay? The whole universe consists of this, and in each substance there is a sequentially predetermined, systematic, independent transformation happening every moment. Okay, so soul's transformation is soul in itself, and the bodies or the matter's transformation is in matter itself. Okay, so the jiva undergoing its own sequentially governed modification is indeed jiva and not ajiv. Similarly, the ajiv undergoing, so under ajiv, all the other 5 substances will come: matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, and everything. Similarly, the ajiv undergoing its own sequentially governed modification is ajiv and not jiv. Okay? So these are all sequentially governed, and that is sequentially bound only. Sequentially governed means sequentially bound. Okay. So Krambad and Kram Niyamit are the same. Here it is written. The words Kram Niyamit and Krambad are synonymous, as clearly stated in Pulchandji's Jain Tattva Mimamsa. So there is no controversy, it means the same. Swamiji has used Krambad, Acharya Kunkundev has used Kram Niyamit. Okay, so there is no major thing in that. Every effect means every action, every modification occurs only in its own proper time. Therefore, modification of every substance are sequentially governed. One after another, they continue to arise at their respective proper times in accordance with the real principal cause, upadan. Okay. So here the word kram has been used to indicate the sequential manifestation of modifications, and the word niyamit has been used to indicate that each modification arises in its own proper time, predetermined time, regulated in accordance with its own real principal cause. In the present time, the meaning conveyed by the term sequentially bound modification is the same as that of sequentially governed modification. Kram Niyamit Paryay. Last paragraph. It is important to note that it is not merely stated here that modification occur in sequence, but also that they occur in a regulated sequence, predetermined sequence, prefix sequence. The intent is this: the specific modification of a particular substance which is to arise in a particular time through a particular instrumental cause and by a specific mode of effort. Okay, so it is not only the time that is predetermined, but instrumental cause is also predetermined. And by a specific mode of effort, so the effort is also predetermined, arises exactly in that substance at that time through that instrumental cause and by that effort, exactly as it is meant to and not otherwise. This is the rule. Okay, so this is the rule. Now if we understand it very nicely and accept it, then we will be stress free. Because why the stress is coming, stress is coming because of the doership, karta buddhi. Okay, you might have a karta buddhi, but you don't become a karta. That is the nature of things depicts that each substance is independently transforming on its own. Nobody is doing, one substance cannot do anything of the other, right? Unnecessarily, due to ignorance, due to delusion, this soul from time immemorial has become doer, although it is a not doer. Okay, but because of his ignorance, because of delusion, he has considered himself to be a doer, and in reality he is not a doer. And that's why this birth and death, this transmigration has been happening since eternal. Now if you want to break this cycle, you have to understand this principle very nicely. And in Samay Sarji, we saw this reference that it is entirely being explained and justified. Now we will move on to another Acharya.
So
Acharya
even the effort is regulated. Everything, the
effort is
sequence
also regulated.
effort is also, मतलब
yes,
कितना effort है वो भी regulated है.
right. So that effort we will have separate discussion. Okay, if I don't want to get into right now. While discussing the effort, we will discuss all the points related to it. Just imagine. So the process is also predetermined, the efforts are predetermined, and the outcome is predetermined, the instrumental cause is predetermined, everything is coming predetermined, predetermined, predetermined. Now, all this understanding leads us to the conclusion that we are only a knower and not doer. Okay. So this much you consider right now. Then we will go further into deep. In fact, we are going to discuss at length this principle. So every now and then some common things will keep on overlapping, but never mind, understand it. Okay. Now in the next definition, yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt. We previously discussed about sixfold causation of the modification.
Yes.
Okay, that is independent in itself. And here we were talking about the પાંચ સમવાય, that
Yes.
these are the causes by which any action occurs.
Yeah.
So are these two not conflicting? Because when we say that the modification depends also on nimitt, while there we were saying that the modification is totally independent of any other thing like substance or an attribute. So are these two conflicting statements?
No, it is not conflicting statements. As we have 5 concomitant factors. 5 समवाय is called 5 concomitant factors. This word we have recently discovered for samvai. Earlier we have used 5 causes. Okay, it means the same. So now we have got a better word, concomitant factor. Okay, 5 factors are there. What are these 5 factors? First one is the nature, swabhav.
Nature.
The second is kal labdhi, predestined
Hmm.
time. The third is bhavitavya, destiny. Okay. The fourth is pursharth, effort. And the fifth is instrumental cause, nimit. Okay. So any action to takes place, this 5 will always be there. If an action has performed, then this 5 will be there. And if it is not there, if the action is not there, this 5 will also not be there. Now, among these 5, you cannot leave out one out of these 5. All 5 has to be present to get that particular action done. Okay. So now this 5 is there. Okay. So when I talk, so while talking in the action, there is an equal contribution of all the 5. Okay. It is not that I will highlight one thing and make it prominent and the others as subordinates. No, all 5 are equally important and all 5 are relevant for any action to take place. But there is a limitation to talk. So while talking, I can talk one at a time and not all the 5 at a time. Do you accept this?
Sir, yes, sir.
So talking, I can talk from one perspective. So when I say that this action has been performed because of the nature. So would you conclude that it is just because of the nature? No.
No, sir.
The other 4 are there, although I'm not mentioning it. Okay. Because the words, the speech has got limitation. It can describe from one perspective at a time. So now I'm talking from the perspective of nature, that the gold only can manifest into a jewelry. Okay. So this is from the nature. Now, I can also talk from predestined time, kal labdhi. When the right time will come, the gold will turn into jewelry. Okay. The same thing I can say from the destiny. The jewelry is the destiny. The action that has performed is only the destiny. Okay. So this is also a third perspective. The fourth perspective I can talk of, that when the pursharth, okay, when I'm talking of effort, okay, when the effort takes place, then only the action will take place. Okay. So here I am talking from the perspective of effort. And then I can also talk from the perspective of instrumental cause, that since the goldsmith was there, the jewelry has been made. Now each statement has been made from a particular perspective, and it is true from that perspective. Okay. So it is on us to analyze from which perspective the statement is made. Irrespective of the perspective from which the statement is made, we should always conclude that the action has taken place because of the 5 and not from the one perspective that is being explained. Are you there? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you understand in this way, then you will be able to justify everything. Okay. So when in a family there are 4 sons. So when the elder is getting married, we will praise that elder son only. Okay. When the second one gets married, we will praise the second son, although the elder is the most eldest. But we are not praising him right now and not the younger ones. Why? Because today the second son is getting married. When the third will get married, we will talk of him only, all the good things about him. And when the fourth will get married, we will talk of that only. Similarly, the 5 concomitant factors are equally responsible for the action to take place, but while explaining, we will explain one at a time. Okay. So from that perspective only the talks will happen, but in your knowledge, you have to upgrade it, that it has happened because of all 5 and not of one, or not of because of one, because one is being explained. Are you ready? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is no
Okay.
contradictory, only the perspective changes. So when I have to talk from the perspective of predestined time or the destiny, I will say that the efforts are also predetermined. But when I talk from the perspective of effort, I will say this you do, then all the other concomitant factors will also come and the action will take place. So when I talk from the effort point of view, then there is something intentionally that you have to do. Purposely you have to do. बुद्धि पूर्वक आपको पुरुषार्थ करना है. I know it is all conventionally, it is all sequentially bound modification. Principle I know. But I cannot sit idle. जब होना होगा तब हो जाएगा. No, it's not the correct answer. I will do whatever I can do at my level. The efforts I will put in, and if there is the things has to happen, it will happen. Because I don't know the what is going to happen in future. The omniscience knows, and based on omniscience, this principle has evolved, the Krambat Paryay. But I don't know. So I will do Buddhi Purvak what I can do, and then all the other concomitant factors will come and the action will happen. Okay. So when you talk from effort point of view, you have to say that I will do this. When it is from destiny or predestined time, then we say that efforts are also predetermined. Okay. So when we say from the instrumental cause point of view, then we will give the importance to the instrumental cause. That just because the goldsmith was there, the jewelry could be made. But we know the fact that it is not the goldsmith who has made the jewelry, it is the gold who has transformed into jewelry from the nature point of view. Predestined time was there, so the jewelry has been made. Then the destiny was there for the gold to be transformed into a jewelry. And the efforts are also there. Efforts of not the goldsmith, but efforts of the gold itself. Because effort is a modification of virya gun, virya gun, power attribute. So power attributes modification is this effort. Okay. So each substance transforms every moment because of its power attribute. Okay. So Pursat is imbibed in each substance, not only Jeev we are talking about, it is there in all the 6 substances, and that's why all the 6 substances are modifying every moment, transforming every moment on its own independently. Okay. Hope I have answered your answer, but just
Sir,
since
partially, yeah. So,
Yeah.
sir, the question was when we are talking about KBP, Krambadh Paryay, we are talking about the action taking place in the modification. One modification is going away and the second one is coming, the subsequent one. So now this process, can we apply 5 samvai on this process also, or do we have to
Yes.
look at it? Yeah.
For every action, you have to apply 5 samvai. For every transformation is an action, and in action, these 5 factors are equally contributing. Okay. So that's
only, sir, from one point of view, we will be able to say that this KBP is taking place because of the 6-fold causation, that is Shatkar ki Swatantrata, that
Yes.
everything is happening, all the Paryaya are independent of each other to take place.
Yes.
From this 5 causes that we pass somewhere, we will say that it is also taking place due to the Purusharth of the Paryaya.
So when I taught you this 6 cases, I did a comparative study. the three principles, Nimit Upadan, Shatkarak and Panch Samvai, these three are the same thing. Only the terminology changes. So when we were discussing Upadan Nimit, Trikali Upadan, okay, principal cause, that was Trikali Upadan Karan, eternal principal cause. That was Trikali Upadan, okay. Then we had this Anantar Purva Shanvarti Paryay, immediate prior modification, that is Purusharth. And then we have eligibility of the moment, Tat Samay ki Yogyata, okay. In that two samvais are contained. One is time and the other is destiny. Both put together is this, and instrumental cause is common to both. So same principle is being explained in three ways. The Shatkarak is one way. Among the Shatkarak also, some are principal cause, some are Swabhav, some are Purushar, some are... So that also we did a comparative statement. Kalpana Ben has given this comparative comparison in this Tattvagyan Vivechika. Okay. So you can check it from there. I can share the Hindi copy by taking out a photograph after the class. Okay. So again, we connect this, and this principle of Krambad Paryay is connected to this 5 samvai. So we will have one topic, one module on this 5 samvai and Krambad Paryay. Okay. So it's coming. Just wait. So now the second definition, Kartikenu Preksha Kartikeswamy also says the same thing. Now it will be repetition of the same logic, but we will just read through. Okay. So Rekha, you read number 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For the Jeev whose birth or death the Jinnah has known to occur with certainty in a specific region at the specific time and through the specific mode, indeed occurs for that Jeev in that same region at that very time and through the very mode. Who can avert it? But Indra or even the Jinnah himself. In other words, none can obstruct it. Thus, one who knows substances and all their modifications with certainty has right belief, and one who doubts this has false belief, mithya drishti.
So end of number 2. Okay. Second reference. Hope everyone has understood it. Only the addition is the one who knows this system is a right believer. One who knows and accepts is a right believer. Okay. The one who knows substances and all their modification with certainty has right belief. And one who doubts is a false believer. Okay. So this has been added. Otherwise, all is same. Now we move on to the third. So for third and fourth, I have shared something in the group. There the whole poem is given. So the first poem is from, no, the third reference is different. Fourth and fifth I have shared. Okay. So now we will first read the third one. The same spirit has been expressed at many places in the Jina Agam, such as Acharya Ravi Sen in Padma Puran. So Padma Puran is a scripture which is on Ramayana, Ram Bhagwan, and that is written by Acharya Ravi Sen. Okay. In that also this principle has been referred to, that which is destined to be attained, where, due to what cause, and in what manner. That very thing is indeed attained at that very place, through that very cause, in that very manner. Now, the fourth and fifth. Fourth reference is from Bhaiya Bhagwati Das Ji's poem. Okay. Adapted from Adhyatam Pad Sangra, page number 81. Fourth reference. Jo jo dekhi veet ragne. Okay. So that you can see from the one that I shared in the group today. Okay. So there it is here in this scripture, in this textbook only. You can turn around on page number, go to page number 44 and 45. The same has been explained in full. Both has to be read as homework. Okay. Fourth and fifth reference is from Pandit Budjanji. He was a poet. He also wrote this in Adhyatam Pad Sangra, page number 79. Okay. Ja kari जैसम जाही समय में जो होतव ज्वाद्वारी. In the English explanation is also been given on page number 44-45. You can refer to that. We are now moving on to the sixth reference. Pandit Jaychandji Chabda in the Bhavarth of Moksha Pahud, Gatha number 86, has also echoed same sentiment. You can read out. Who will read? Who is left over? 1 minute. Let me see. Madhuji, you read number 6. Such is the contemplation.
Yes, sir.
6 and 7, both you read.
Yes, sir. Such is the contemplation of one with right belief. Yeah. Whatever the nature of reality is, as known by the omniscient, it continues to unfold in that very manner. This alone truly happens. To consider things as desirable or undesirable, to become happy or sorrowful on that basis is futile. From such reflection, sorrow is dispelled. This is directly evident in experience.
So if you think on such lines, all your sorrows will be dispelled. There is no sorrow in this universe. This sorrow is being created by ourselves, by our wrong belief, wrong imagination, wrong imagination only, I would say, wrong expectations. Okay. So when
Yeah.
you don't expect, there is no sorrow. Okay.
Right.
So this
Yes.
sorrow is also dispelled by this principle.
Yes.
Now the next one you read.
Yes. Furthermore,
Sada
the
Sukdas ji. Pandit Sada Sukdas ji in Ratnakaran Sravakachar's commentary, slok number 137, Bhavar, he mentions that furthermore, this is the seventh reference.
The conviction of one with right belief is this: for the jiva, in the place, at the time, and through the process in which birth or death, or gain, loss, joy, suffering is known by the omniscient Lord through divine knowledge. Such birth, death, gain, loss occurs inevitably through that very process, in that very place, at that very time. None, be, none, be it Indra, Ahamindra, or even the Jina himself, is capable of altering it.
Stop.
In all,
Stop.
yeah,
So
yes.
see, this whole system is so organized and so predetermined sequentially that even Indra, who is the most powerful among the celestial beings, okay, Aham Indra, or even the Jinendra Bhagwan, right? He is not capable of altering it. Nobody can change it, right? So, but one thing common that we could see among the definitions is the engagement of the omniscience. So this principle of KBP is somewhat connected with omniscience. Now, if I say that train is late, how I can judge the train is late? Because there is a chart in the railway station. It says the train will reach at 10:30. Okay. And if it does not reach at 10:30, then only I can say that this is late. Similarly, omniscience in his omniscience knowledge. Okay. Aryant Bhagwan in his omniscience knowledge has known all the things that are happening around us in his omniscience knowledge. Past, present, and future. All he is knowing it clearly in the present. And in his Divya Dhvani, these things have come. And subsequently, these things happened. So that's why this principle, we can say, is correct. Without the support of omniscience knowledge, how can we say the train is late? First, the time has to be defined, no? Then only I can say the train is late. So if the train comes at 10:45, I can say it has come on right time if the time is not defined. So this principle is not like that. It has got reference to omniscience knowledge. Based on omniscience knowledge, this sequence have been told, and it happens in that manner. That's why we are coming to that's why we come to the conclusion that this is the principle is correct. Okay, things happen on the right time. Now that right time is defined by omniscience. Okay, so directly or indirectly, there is a presence of omniscience which we have to accept to understand this principle of sequentially bound modification. Are you one with me? So omniscience
Yes, sir.
and sequence bound modification are both interconnected. If you don't accept omniscience knowledge, then you cannot prove sequence bound modification. And if you don't accept sequence bound modification, then you cannot justify omniscience knowledge, because things happen in that manner. And that's why we can say that omniscience knowledge knows everything. Okay, because there are examples of, like, Marichi will become 24th Tirthankar, Dwarka will burn after 12 years, right? Many examples we are going to see, in the Pratman Yoga. In this particular, there is a comparison coming up about 4 expositions explaining this principle of Krambat Paryay. Okay, so that we will do. So now we are concluding this third module, last 2 paragraphs. In all the above passages, the knowledge of the omniscient is consistently upheld as the basis for declaring the future to be fixed. Okay? And upon that foundation, one is instructed to remain unshaken and fearless. जो जो देखी वीत रागने सो सो होसी वीरा रे अनहोनी कबू होनी नहीं kai hot adhira re. Why you are getting impatient when things will happen according to what the omniscience had seen? Right? So based on that, you are supposed to become fearless and unshaken. Okay? So your confidence remains unshaken. You are not impatient and you are fearless, just because based on omniscience, this principle has been said. Swami Kartikeya has declared one who holds such conviction to be with right belief, and shows not the slightest hesitation in calling one who does not accept it one with false belief. So are you a right believer or a wrong believer depends on whether you accept this principle or not. Okay, so when you understand this principle very nicely and you accept it, then you become a right believer. So this is again another cause of Samyak Darshan, right belief. How do you manifest by right belief? By understanding this principle. Okay, so this is important from that perspective also. Thus, we see that in establishing the principle of sequentially bound modification, omniscience stands as the most powerful basis. Without omniscience, you cannot prove 6 types of substances. Without omniscience, you cannot prove 7 fundamental elements. Okay, so whatever is written in the Jinvani, that has all come from omniscience, from the divine sound of the Tirthankars. Okay, so it is again connected with this principle. Okay, so this is the end of the third module. Now the fourth module, some twist is being made here. Yeah, you can ask.
So I wanted to ask you, just the way you said that the concomitant factors, they are equally have to be there. So I wanted to know, when it talks of time, instrumental cause, effort, so are they have to be in equal measure, or is there a
Equal measure.
those also have to be?
As far as the action is concerned, not a single factor is 21%. All are 20, 20, 20, 20 in itself. Okay.
Right.
But while talking, I can talk from one perspective at a time.
Correct.
So at that time, I would say 100% from effort. I would say 100% from predestined time. I would say 100% from destiny. I would say 100% from instrumental cause. I can say 100%. But you have to understand that it is 20% only. Okay? And then only you will be able to make out a balance. Okay? So, hope you have understood it correctly, right?
No, sir. Sir, I'm talking of this regulated sequence,
Hmm.
where it says that the specific modification arises at a particular time through a
Hmm.
particular instrumental cause
Hmm.
and through specific effort in
Hmm.
that substance. So, sir, what amount of role does effort play?
So as I said, ki all are equal. Okay.
Oh,
So only 3 are mentioned in the definition, but others 2 are also there.
okay.
So for any action to take place, all the 5 are there.
Okay.
That is a universal truth. Now the thing is that while making you understand this principle, sequentially bound modification (KBP), this principle, only out of these 5 concomitant factors, one is in your hand: effort.
Yeah,
Okay? So effort is in our hand, other 4 are not in our control.
correct.
We cannot do anything in that.
Yeah,
So effort is in our hand. So you are being advised to undergo this effort. Okay.
yeah, that is what.
Even if effort was also predetermined,
Hmm.
then there was no point in giving preachings.
But then, sir, you earlier told us effort is also predetermined, no?
So that is from which perspective?
I don't know.
That is from predestined time and destiny.
Okay.
So when I talk from that perspective, effort is predetermined. But when I talk from the perspective of effort, then I would say it is only that in our hand. Other 4s are not in our hand.
Correct.
So you do what is supposed to be done as the needful, and other things will rally around and it will come and your action will take place. If you want to come first in the class, you study systematically every day, make proper notes, revise it again and again,
Hmm.
then you will come first. So
Hmm.
this is what I would tell you from the effort.
Hmm.
But if I have to say from the perspective of predestined time, then what I have to say? I'll say when the right time will come, you will
I
also
got
come
it.
first.
Correct. Okay.
So when I have to say from the destiny, I will say when the destiny will be there, you will come first.
Hmm.
So it is like that. All 5 are always there. But
Okay.
while talking, we will talk from the one. So
Hmm.
you don't understand that it is happened from the one only.
Right.
All 5 are equally contributor. This much, if you can understand, you will strike a balance, and this will manifest passionlessness.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will have rag in effort. You will attachment with effort only.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will have attachment with predestined time only. And
Yeah.
you will sit idle. That when predestined time will come.
Right.
But if you understand it from all the 5 factors, you will be doing the right efforts, and then you will not become impatient because you know it is not going to happen before predestined time.
Right. Okay.
Right. So all these
I
together
was.
will create a balance in you, in your knowledge, where you will be doing the right things at the right time and never get impatient. Always enjoy every moment, and things will also take place.
Oh, I got it. And hence you'll have no expectation because you will say it's free.
Yes, right. So
Okay.
this principle is just a life-changing principle that if you understand it properly, your active consciousness will turn inbound.
Hmm.
It will settle in your soul and you will realize yourself. Okay? And the path of liberation will begin from there. So now on, every principle will understand it. Everywhere there is an opportunity for you to realize yourself. So we will learn 15-20 principles. Any principle you apply while meditating,
Hmm.
and you can realize yourself in that very moment. Okay. So this is, so we have understood 7 principles and the conclusion, that was what we have discussed. Now we move on to the 4th module. So the 4th module is about an ignorant being. Okay. Because he is objecting to this principle. Because his argument is, if I accept this principle, then my efforts will be zero. I will have nothing in my hand. And ignorant being doesn't want to do that. So he is giving different arguments against this principle. What are the arguments that he gives? That is in the fourth module. It begins with here the world sees no difficulty. 2 paragraphs only. Fourth module, only 2 paragraphs. Then we will move on to the fifth module. Okay. So these 2 paragraphs, who is left over? Jia, you read.
Yes, sir. So from the world, right?
Yes.
The world sees no difficulty in accepting the sequential binding of manifested modifications. However, when unmanifested, future modifications are also described as fixed. The world is taken aback. They feel that if everything is predetermined, then all our efforts and doing is meaningless. The wall of egoistic doership, which it had considered as solid foundation, and upon which it stood proudly, when that begins to crumble before its eyes, it becomes completely flustered. Its agitation grows to the extent that even the omniscient Lord and the omniscience it had until now accepted in its heart, not merely intellectually, now becomes subjects of doubt, and it even begins to oppose them. Since he has, until now, accepted the existence of the omniscient, he cannot immediately disavow it. And so he begins to reinterpret omniscience. At times, he says that the omniscient knows the past and the present, but not the future, because whatever had to happen in the past has already happened, and whatever is happening in the present is indeed happening. Therefore, there is no objection in knowing those. But since future events have not yet happened, what is there to know? At other times, he says that the future is known, but known conditionally, such as one who performs merit will be happy, and one who commits sin will be miserable. One who studies will pass, and one who does not study will not pass, and so on. He devises countless such explanations.
Stop.
But
So this ignorant being, okay, he wants to give his logic and he doesn't want to lose his egoistic doership. Now, this is the root cause of the transmigration. In a human life, ego is very prominent. Okay. All the disputes you see, all the controversies, all the cause of misery is just this ego. Okay. And this egoistic doership, the wall of egoistic doership, which it had considered a solid foundation and upon which it stood proudly, when that begins to crumble before its eyes, it becomes completely flustered. Flustered means worried, afraid. Okay, he doesn't want to lose that. Its agitation grows to the extent that even the omniscient Lord and the omniscience it had until now accepted in its heart, not merely intellectually. If he would have understood it intellectually, then he would not have any doubts. But just because he accepted it in heart, but not by putting logics behind it, okay, now becomes the subject of doubt, and it even begins to oppose them. Okay, so this is the problem of the ignorant being. Since he has until now accepted the existence of the omniscient, he cannot immediately disavow it. Disavow it means what? Deny, disclaim. Okay. These 2 words, flustered and disavow, I just checked with the dictionary, Google, and I didn't knew the meaning of these 2 words. But more or less I knew the meaning from the context, but then I had to see the Google and write down the meanings of it. So you should also, the words you feel difficult, you should write a synonymous behind besides that. Okay. So when next time you read, you understand it better. What happens, when we don't understand the meaning properly, that is the time we lose interest in reading the scriptures. So the meaning should be very clear of each and every word. Okay. Although in English it is a bit difficult, but nevertheless with our practice, since last 2 years, we are more or less good with the language now. We are able to express, we are able to understand. Okay. But still, whenever you find any word, don't underestimate. See, search the Google and write the meanings beside that. So 1 or 2 times, if you come across that word, then you remember it in your mind. Okay. Disavow it. Okay, disavow it. And so he begins to reinterpret omniscience. At times he says that omniscience knows the past and the present, but not the future. At times he said that he tries to put conditions to it. The one who performs merit will be happy, and one who commits sin will be miserable. One who studies will pass, and one who does not study will not pass, and so on. He devises countless such explanations. Okay, this is who is doing this? Ignorant being. Okay, understand in right perspective. So now the conclusion. But this is the fifth module starting from here. But all his tireless efforts remain in vain, because when there is no path to begin with, how can one emerge? Okay, how is it possible that one accepts omniscience and yet denies knowledge of the future? The meaning of omniscient is one who knows all the three times, past, present, and future. One who cannot know the future, how can he be called omniscient? The very definition of omniscience is one who knows everything. Omniscient, the one who knows everything is omniscient. It has ever been said. Now the definition of omniscient begins. There are 8 references given from the scriptures. So this is the first reference, and this has come from Tattvad Sutra, chapter 1, Sutra number 29. It's given in the footnote. Everywhere each reference has been given in the footnote, but I have what I have done, I have written it in the same place, so that we don't have to go to the footnote. So while reference is being highlighted, so we understand better. So you have to do these homeworks. Okay. So this is the first reference. Next page is the second reference. Which one is Acharya Pujyapad Swami? Okay. Right. While explaining the above words, Acharya Pujyapad writes. This is the second. After 2 paragraphs, in the same way, number 3 reference. This number 3 reference has come from Pravachan Sarji, verse number 39. Okay, this is the third reference. Then in Dawla, book 6, is fourth reference. Then next page, fifth reference, Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, Pravachan Sar, verse number 200, commentary. Then the sixth reference, or to say it another way, this has been taken from Pravachan Sarji, Gatha number 47, commentary. Okay. Seventh reference, in Bhagavati Aradhana. Okay. Got it? You are writing, no? You are marking in your textbook, right? This is the seventh reference. Then the eighth reference coming up. Similarly, Acharya Amit Gati. Okay. This is the eighth reference. And then the concluding part is the proof of omniscience. Okay. Here the others references are also given. And there, then after the next page, the fifth module ends. If the idea of sequentially bound modification did not occur to us earlier, okay, that paragraph where there ends, matter once again. That is the end of the fifth module. Okay. So these 8 references you read as a homework. We will just see the conclusion, or we will read again in the class, and then we will conclude in the next class. Okay. So number 5 is clear with you. Number 5 module. This is your homework. What else is your homework? The 2 references that I have shared, page number 44 and 45. There are 2 poems which depicts the principle of sequence bound modification. Okay. I'll just refer the page numbers. It is 40. I have shared it separately, and there is a page number, 44 and 45 of the textbook. Okay. 44 and 45 of the English textbook. The 2 poetic renderings are there, and the meanings are also given. So that is also your homework. Okay, 2 homeworks you have, and we will continue this in the next class. Also revise whatever has been covered for today. And if you have any questions, I think the whole principle of this sequentially bound modification has been explained today. with questions coming from Somya and Hemali. I think I have cleared all the doubts. Okay. So refer this once again and keep your questions with you, and you can ask me personally also. Okay. So happy studying. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत